Welcome to the final part of Jak and Daxter. We have this monstrous little labyrinth here to go through to unlock all the sages and go to the final boss. So, tangent away while we kind of climb it.
Well,
Give us a topic of discussion.
Well, how about the final level we could talk about?
Directly at, as we ask for tangent, is actually the final boss. That robot in the middle there. Precursor robot that was dug out of some unspecified location and patched up in the most patchiest way you can possibly patch a robot. It's like got all this sleek orange precursor metal, and then it's got just big old bits and pieces that are just grafted on iron. Oh, that was terrible. One of the, those colored platforms that drop out from under you. Whenever you jump on a given platform color, all the platforms of that color vanish at once. So it's kind of a puzzle element.
As long as you jump on a different color each time, you should be fine.
Yeah, as long as you make sure you have enough jumps left to get you to the other side.
And you can ignore this final level, right? You can just go back and collect more precursor stuff if you want.
If you want.
Okay, fuck the old man.
Well, they'll be sitting here until you beat the game.
Hey, you can't just avoid this level if you want to beat the game, but...
You can save all the sages, watch Gull get into the giant robot, and then just go back outside the level.
Wait, really? You can just ignore the final boss?
Yep.
But, alright. Like, I was gonna question that, but you know what? Whatever. Who cares?
Ignore shit. No, you don't think they're hot shit.
For a final level, this place is very makeshift looking. I mean, it's creepy, but it doesn't have the same kind of pizzazz as, say, Cortex's space stations and stuff do. It looks like a garbage giant might jump out at you at any minute, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you can tell with all the patches everywhere and the fact that things are still being made, which I assume is going to be for the robot until we interrupt it.
Ooh, this platform. You're actually supposed to hang on the edge, but sometimes I climb up on it by mistake and get hit by the welding thingamafucker. I have no idea what that mechanism is supposed to do, however. It just perpetually turns the same lump of metal around and spews fire onto it.
It's probably just for decoration. If you're gonna have a final dungeon, you need to have a bit of style.
Well, it's like, I don't really mind the whole factory motif if you actually try to give the illusion that things have form and function. They don't really do that here.
Well, like,
something that's actually a warehouse instead of just having a warehouse motif.
Okay, you know what, that's actually, the factory level is never one of my favorites, because they're never actually building anything, they're just, like, got lots of conveyor belts and saw blades all over the place, and, I'm gonna bring up Banjo-Tooie again. I know, I feel like I do that, like, every time.
This is the final part.
Yeah.
I like a tally of how many times Ted has mentioned Banjo.
I love those games, alright, but, Grunty's...
Well, no, that was the Metabaki. I'm just legitimately curious.
Get to playing them already.
But, I don't want to do the first one first. I like the second one.
Do the first one first.
I don't want...
Too bad.
But
Shut
anyway, what I was gonna say is that the factory level in Banjo-Tooie, Grunty's Industries, is one of my least favorite levels in that game. But it's like a factory. They've got a trash compactor. They've got somewhere where they store all their boxed crap. They've got like a boiler room. It's like there's not just random saw blades all over the place. So yeah, that's just where I wanted to go with that. So.
Just go find more help. Weirdo!
Yeah, each of the sages has a different personality, obviously. The blue sage is the one who talks in unnecessarily scientific language.
And we haven't met any of these guys before this, right?
No, they were all kidnapped, except for Samos. Samos is in one of these cages. I think he's in the absolute last cage that you can open, though.
Well,
Yeah, he's at the top of the tower.
Well, that makes sense considering he's the only one that's been plot relevant.
By God, don't accidentally jump into the space between those colored platforms, because you will drop two colors at once and it will bite you in the ass. I speak from experience. Painful experience. Fortunately, the checkpoints in this level are really generous.
Yeah, thankfully. There's not a whole lot of backtracking in this. This just sends you back to the hub room, and then you go to the next one.
Are you talking about when you die, or
No,
just...
when you die, you usually just pop up like at the beginning of the very platforming challenge you messed up at. Like right here, there's this. Right here is a checkpoint, actually. The only thing I find is that sometimes the checkpoints don't actually trigger. I'm not really sure what causes it to happen.
Well, there's no indicator. I think we may have brought this up in an earlier part, but there's no indicator about what checkpoints are.
Also, you might notice this, but there are precursor orbs here. Don't go for them.
That's quitter talk.
I mean, unless you're blatantly trying to be completionist, but you will die a few times trying to get those precursor orbs.
Well, you don't. There are more precursor orbs than things you need to sell precursor orbs for, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're really only going for it if you want 100% then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's this room. Lurker frogs jumping all around.
Maybe you got that eco chamber, so you can keep refilling on your yellow eco.
Speaking of yellow eco, Ryan actually skipped the snow level, but the yellow eco vent is in the snow level. I don't know I don't know why that matters at all, because opening it serves basically no purpose. There are so few yellow eco vents in the game that it's basically just an unlock for the snow level itself.
Yellow eco sounds like a sports drink.
A Gatorade flavor, yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jack's World has a sports drink called Liquid Eco, though.
Step 1, stay alive. Step 2,
Isn't all... No, it I don't know what kind of matter eco is, and trying to figure it out will probably give me a headache, so I'm not going to do it. Nope.
It's basically...
Oops.
Yeah, you don't want to grab the edges of these platforms. It won't save you. It'll just make your death more hilarious. Anyway, if you die after you get all those generators down, they come back.
You know, I just realized that the only girl that mattered in this game never got kidnapped, but the old man did. Way to go, Naughty Dog. Gender segregation and... Not segregation. Defying gender roles and crap. Boom. Good job. Have a cookie. Actually, no, they're my Girl Scout cookies. You can't
I'm
have
trying
them.
to... well, I'm trying to think of any game beforehand.
Well, Naughty Dog doesn't really play to the princess trope much. I mean, there's what's her name, Tanya,
Tana.
Tana in the first Crash Bandicoot game, but after that, I don't see.
That's
it
about
much.
it.
Yeah, it's like in the Jak series, you get Kira, who's the smart and sassy handyman person, and you have Ashlyn, who's a straight up soldier, and also Baron Praxis' daughter. Spoiler alert. And then there's an Uncharted. I don't think there are many damsel in distress situations, and they write the characters competently from what I tell, so I guess it wouldn't really matter as much if there was a situation where one had to save the other.
In Donkey Kong Country, it's Donkey Kong that gets kidnapped in the sequel.
Yeah, but that's not...
And 3.
That's not Naughty Dog, though. That's...
Well, no, I thought I wasn't sure if we were just generalizing.
Oh, okay.
General damsel in distress syndrome, though, yeah.
Yeah, but it always made me uncomfortable in Donkey Kong that they sexed up Candy Kong so much, because, like, I don't want to have sex with a gorilla. I'm sorry. and I don't know why it bothers me more in Donkey Kong than it does with, like, Rouge or whatever, but it does. It's just, I don't know.
It's because the fur is so damn realistic looking.
I get, yeah, you know what, that's probably it.
Yeah, it's like other games have done that. Tana, Crystal, and Star Fox.
Yeah, but they're not as pronounced, though.
They're very cartoony. They're very, you know...
It might as well just be different colored skin.
It's like, you know, the gorillas in Donkey Kong aren't realistic by any stretch, but they are meant to look very hairy. Okay.
So how do we transition out of this uncomfortable tangent?
By pointing out something obvious that's happening on screen. What does that button do? Oh.
Ooh, what does that button do?
colored platforms. Oh god. Yeah, you got to be careful about how much you move before you jump with these things.
Or I'm guessing as soon as you touch them, the piece that you're standing on collapses. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you happen to step directly from the edge of one platform onto the other, you'll drop 2 colors near simultaneously.
Oh, okay. So it's like you can only stand on each color once kind of puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. And the checkpoint's right there, so you don't have to go back much to like figure it out. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying.
Stan's getting ready to pick the shell that torch.
I'm trying to remember if there was another game that had a puzzle like that, but it's not. Nothing's coming to mind. Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but I swear I played something like that had
Already
a
been this
similar
way.
kind of.
Onimusha had a puzzle something like this.
Well,
Not
I
with colors, but with circles and X's and crosses.
I never played on
that damn room where you're with Kaede and one of you is always trapped between like a spiked wall cage, and you have to move the other to hit circle. And there's a chance you could drop one or both of them into a pit by dropping the wrong floor fragments.
Which was funny, but annoying.
Funny but annoying in a game where dying means going back to the fucking title screen.
Yeah.
I'm not, sorry. I never played.
Onimusha was still trying to be a horror game. That's the problem with it.
Okay, so like, is it trying to be Resident Evil, but like
It's Resident Evil with samurais.
samurai?
Yeah.
So it's more like Japanese type horror.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
not-
it has a little more emphasis than in action than Resident Evil already by default, but the first game was quite clearly Resident Evil with samurais.
Okay. Do later games try to be more like
Oh,
action?
yeah, starting with the second one.
They stop trying to be scary and then start being
Yeah.
actiony. Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
and then you get to Onimusha 4, Dawn of Dreams, and it's like, oh, this was a Resident Evil game at some point? I can't tell.
It's like you get to Resident Evil 4 and you were like, this is a Resident Evil game at some point.
Well, no, Resident Evil 4 at least has like the same basic tank controls and stuff. Just a different camera angle.
Yeah.
Onimusha 4 is a completely different kind of game.
And it's a Resident Evil 4's credit. It did initially start as something very different. Like I don't know if you ever saw the. I'm talking to Ted exclusively here, but the beta version of 4 was very paranormal.
I've seen. I think Ryan showed me bits of it at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very Fatal Frame, actually.
I can see that. Yes.
Yeah, it's like instead of going into first-person mode to use the camera, you go into over-the-shoulder mode to aim your gun. It's got all these ghosts and spirits around. You're always using your flashlight to illuminate dark areas.
I wonder how many betas and alphas that game went through. Like how many concepts.
I think they restarted it 4 times, they said.
How appropriate.
Yeah.
And that's our third stage.
Oh, so you get a
Like-
trophy for setting 3 of them go?
Each of them free, yeah.
Oh.
You get a trophy for each one, in fact. I like how this guy mistakes Daxter for a muskrat, and then at the very end of his conversation, he says that when he's done, he's going to go for some muskrats, too. And Daxter's just like, gulp. And for some reason, the moment you get the other 3 stages... Oh, yeah, there's a side platform over there that leads to some stuff. I think one of the scout flies is over there. Big whoop. For some reason, the moment you get the other 3 stages, this line of platforms just rises up out of the abyss to lead you directly to Samos.
It's a shortcut. You
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much already explored all the areas, so let's not waste any more time.
Man, Pac-Man has really let himself go. Used to be like the star of one of the most successful video games on the planet, and now he's just a rotating platform for Jak and Daxter.
You know, my immediate thought was a wheel of cheese.
That's kind of... Isn't that what Pac-Man was based on?
I thought it was a pizza, or...
Yeah, I think it was a pizza.
He's yellow, so my thought is a wheel of cheese.
Well,
You know, I'm just probably like one of the like that 1 in a billion that you see that Pac-Man reveal trailer for Smash, and I immediately think, oh, wheel of cheese, come to battle. Like, oh, it's Pac-Man. I'm sorry.
You know, it's funny. The way Pac-Man was envisioned at first was basically the developers thinking, let's trying to make a game that will appeal to girls too. What do girls like to talk about? Eating. How about that? That was pretty much their mentality.
For Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man?
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Just Pac-Man?
Yeah, Pac-Man
Yeah.
was designed in order to get more women to play because like everything before that was all like shooty bang bang type stuff. So you know,
Asteroids is too much for me.
I think
It's funny
I
that-
think it's just mostly I think really all that they needed to do to get a wider audience for Pac-Man was like make him a character as opposed to just like random Space Invaders aliens. You know, that's really all you needed.
Well, it's funny though because Pac-Man has a more original approach to trying to get girl gamers into playing the game than most games today do.
Oh, you mean where they just make things like pink and stuff?
Yeah.
Put a bow on Pac-Man and call it Miss Pac-Man. Genius.
Well, the thing is that
that was
Miss-
a hack. That was like a fan game that was made like before game copyright laws were really solidified. So it wasn't made by the same people as Pac-Man.
Well, whether or not they made Pac-Man to specifically appeal to a broader audience, females in general, it worked because my aunt loved Pac-Man.
It's weird though, because Miss Pac-Man's always considered to be the better one because there's more mazes and stuff.
But she had a boost feature.
It is the better one. I mean, they took the game, they took it further, and then I suppose Namco bought it at some point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, I learned something new. Namco bought Pac-Man.
Miss
Miss
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Miss Pac.
Miss Pac-Man. Okay.
Okay. And we're at the very end.
Woo.
These are the last precursor orbs in the game, so this is usually about where that 1,000 out of 1,000 picks up.
If I was going for that in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you get an achievement for it if you do it in the HD collection.
I don't remember whether or not there's an achievement for that, actually.
Well, if there's an achievement for getting each individual sage, there better be one for trying to get all the precursor orbs.
with the other 3 sages, and together we'll open the shield door.
What the hell's the matter with him? Does Daxter gotta go to the bathroom?
Yeah, that sounds like a good start. And then after you guys open that shield, what are you gonna do about the robot?
Nothing, Daxter. We have to keep the shield open. It's up to you two to figure out how to destroy the robot.
Oh,
We didn't think this plan through, did
I
we?
guess to help the guy that turned me into a furball destroy the only person who can turn me back.
Oh yeah, that is the twist of the game. Gull, the bad guy, is actually the sage that they were looking for from the start. Who is supposedly well-versed enough in dark eco lore to hopefully turn Daxter back.
And he's just not going to do it because he's a dick.
Yeah.
This is madness. Really think that much, Doctor?
So wait, was like I haven't really been able to hear most of the dialogue because commentary, but was Daxter like pissed at Jack the whole time for turning him into a rat, or?
Or was it Jack's fault?
Jack threw a bomb at a lurker, and the bomb blew him back into Daxter, and Daxter got knocked into the dark eco pit. Yeah.
Well, okay, but it wasn't like intentional or anything.
It
No.
wasn't intentional.
But did
no.
Daxter care about that?
Dumbass blunder, though.
Yeah. So, but he like because they've been pretty buddy throughout the whole thing. Like it just sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stop that robot.
Well, he's not like angry about it. He never holds a grudge. He's always pally with Jack, and at the beginning of Jack 2, Jack spends like 2 years in prison, and it's Daxter who busts him out.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
Why does it take him that long?
Because Daxter happens in between the 2 games, if you want to know.
But because
also,
the way to unlock the jail cell is a keypad, and you tried every single possible combination.
But if you want the real answer is that Daxter is a useless orange rat trying to break into a military prison. Of course, it took 2 years.
Oh, and that's when he found the time to grow a goatee, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Jack grows his hair out while he's in prison. How he comes out of a prison sentence with a neatly trimmed goatee, I'll never know.
What did he get arrested for?
For being there when Baron Praxis was angry, I guess.
Public urination. Okay.
What is this boss battle about, Ryan?
It is about running around and shooting things at him.
Fascinating. Is it an anteater?
Basically,
No,
every
it's a
phase-
precursor, or it's a precursor robot. No one's sure what it's supposed to be.
Well, it has the same basic face as the precursor statues. Why the statues and robots have that face, I don't know, because the actual precursors look nothing like this.
Why did that not cause fall damage?
Because you never deal fall damage when you're launched from a blue. From blue.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you? Oh wait. So like when he shoots into the pit, like just the yellow stuff just comes out because reasons.
I don't know. I do know that the dark eco silo has 4 eco generators built around it that generate each different kind of eco. The reason this is significant is because once you get to the final phase, all 4 generators activate and combine all the colors into white eco.
Oh, and is that like our super eco?
Yeah. more or
Okay.
less.
All right, hyper.
I'm not sure whether or not it's supposed to be the same thing as light eco in Jak 3 because they never really explain it.
Maybe it was like the precursor to that.
I see what you did there.
That wasn't just a pun. I was being serious.
No, well, it was also a pun, though, wasn't it? Oh, it's Lewis's favorite type of boss attack.
Shockwaves. Every phase has a different attack. Once you get through that attack, he'll do this. And when he does this, just launch up. Now, it looks like that attack is really fast, but here's the thing. The moment you launch up the blue launcher, the attack speeds up and fast forwards through to the explosion so that when you land, you're safe again. So there's no timing involved. Just get to the blue launcher before he fires off the explosion.
Oh, okay. But in the meantime, it's a matter of surviving until the eco chamber shows up.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now we've blown everything the fuck off this robot.
Anybody else thinking Metal Madness from Sonic Heroes? Just
A little bit.
I know this game came first. I'm just...
Well, it's just a matter of exposure. If you've played a later game before you played this, that's what you're gonna think of, even if this was chronologically the first one released.
Anyway, what happens here is that the white eco generator starts dropping blobs of white eco. Pick one up and you instantly win.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
anticlimactic.
Well, you also have a timer because Gull and Maya realize they probably shouldn't let you pick that stuff up and start throwing time bombs at you.
Well, there was plenty of it all over the place, so it didn't look like it was taxing to get any of it.
And now they're shut in the dark eco silo. You outright killed them.
Yeah, murder!
Ooh, good shit.
For kids.
I was tempted to edit in gifs of the crash dance.
Who the fuck does the swim anymore? Like,
Looks like I may have been too hard on you boys. You do have what it takes to be heroes.
Well, we did save the day.
I was
so.
going to congratulate you. Then he started doing the swimming dance. That's dated even for me.
And I'm old.
Yeah. Next you're going to tell me Daxter doing the Cabbage Patch.
You have an incredible talent for channeling eco. Samos, you may have been right about this one after all.
Now there's this side plot they're hinting at where Kira becomes a sage, but that never goes anywhere because the sages disappear after this game. The only one who stays part of the story is Samos.
Do they all get brought into the future, or just Jak and Daxter and Kira?
Jak, Daxter, Kira, and Samus.
Oh, so
Yeah. So everyone else you meet in this time period just dies when the metalheads fly in. Good job.
Wow! Put it on ice, big guy.
Oh, way to cock block him, dick.
Yeah, that's going to be on his business card. Like professional
So that-
cock blocker.
So that was Jak and Daxter for the PS2 and the collection for the PS3. Obviously, I feel it's a very good game. I feel 2 and 3 are better, but I feel it's a pretty good collectathon sort of game. So what do you think, Lewis?
It was a great game for its time. Very technically impressive, most of all. It didn't really do much new apart from that, and having really good controls. But yeah, the series doesn't really pick up its own identity until Jak 2.
Yeah, and again, I'll say it again, but this I think was the last straw for Naughty Dog. Not to say like a negative thing, but this was it. After this game, they figured, we're more than just the happy-go-lucky 3D platformer sort of people. Let's start making things a little darker, edgier, without being too ridiculous. I'd imagine. I don't know if Jak 2 or 3 crosses that threshold where it's so goddamn ridiculous that it's impossible to take seriously.
Actually, no. It does the transition into dark and edginess well enough, but it is kind of jarring to have all this teenage and adult humor showing up in a game that was previously like PG rated.
But do you think, as what I would say Naughty Dog's last bright and colorful game, do you think this is a high note before they started going into uncharted territory?
I definitely do.
Good job, John.
I see what
Good
you
job.
did there. I like the Uncharted series, by the way. I haven't played through any of the games, but what I've played is very fun.
But yeah, I obviously I haven't played any of these, but I don't know. It's just from what I saw, it looks perfectly fine. It's just I don't know. I'm still, I guess, just not sold. I suppose I don't know. It's just it's hard for me to really kind of pinpoint why I'm so disinterested in Jak and Daxter in general. But it's just that's how it's always been for me.
You'd probably enjoy Jak's 2 and 3 better.
Or Ratchet and Clank.
No, I've seen like Ratchet and Clank has at least piqued my interest. I'm not sure like how I feel about the kind of the darker and edgier kind of tone for Jak 2 and 3 because like I'm not really sure how I feel about that. So it's just I'm not really sure how I think is really just all I have to say in general.
Well, it works for Jak and Daxter because they balance it with humor. So it's dark and grim looking, but it's never actually grim. It's never really completely 100% taking itself seriously. And that's what makes it go. It's like when you look at Shadow the Hedgehog was trying to take itself seriously.
And here's the door that leads to Jak 2.
Holy yakka! What could that be?
Wow! It's an ancient precursor door. It looks like it will only open...
You know, when
Also,
Sonic Boom did this, it was lame. Oh, but when Jak and Daxter does it, it's like a cool extra ending and stuff. Whatever,
Wait,
man.
When did Sonic?
They're
do
all like,
this?
"Oh, look at the door! It's such a great door, isn't it?" Like at one point, they're at a gate or something, and they're all like, "Look at how cool the gate is! It's huge." And
Oh, well, that was the giant wooden door, and it was more like, okay, we've been through all of this, and why are you getting wowed now?
Oh, I don't know.
It's just-
Like when you
it's
see
just
a giant robot, when you've just fought and destroyed a giant robot, a door is
Well,
kind of lame.
in this case, it's more like a really exciting archaeological find.
Well, then
because-
archaeologists need to get out more.
No, there's some big, potentially earth-shattering secret of the precursors behind that door, and yeah, it was quite literally earth-shattering. But that
You
kind
know,
of
if they-
discovery
if they-
is pretty exciting.
If they didn't touch it, the world wouldn't be fucked. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they don't
But
know
look
that.
at it from their perspective. It's like the big-ass treasure chest full of gold at the end of their adventure that they just found.
But there's no gold. It's just a
At least
door.
that's what the label says.
Well, precursor technology is apparently currency in the Jak and Daxter universe, so it might as well be gold. Orange gold.
Yeah,
That powers things.
yeah, but it's still dumb.
You're fighting a losing battle, Ted.